Hello there, welcome to Now That You're Awake with Charles Eden. This is our opportunity to learn about the ways and purposes of God in life. Today, let's head on to Mark chapter 6. I'll read various parts, so just go with me. I'll start with verse 17. It says, "For this Herod himself had sent and seized John and bound him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, because he, Herod, had married her." Verse 18, "For John had told Herod, 'It is not lawful and you have no right to have your brother's wife.'" Verse 19, "And Herodias was angry and raged with him," that is John, "and held a grudge against him and wanted to kill him, but she could not." Why? Verse 20, "For Herod had a reverential fear of John, knowing that he was a righteous and holy man, and continually kept him safe under guard. When he heard John speak, he was much perplexed, and yet he heard him gladly." Verse 21. I think I'll just go on with the reading here. "But an opportune time came for Herodias, when Herod on his birthday gave a banquet for his nobles and the high military commanders and chief men of Galilee. For when the daughter of Herodias herself came in and danced," in history it said that the girl's name is Salome, okay? "She pleased and fascinated Herod and his guests, and the king said to the girl, 'Ask me for whatever you desire, and I will give it to you.' And he put himself under oath to her, 'Whatever you ask me, I will give it to you, even to the half of my kingdom.' Then she left the room and said to her mother, 'What shall I ask for myself?' And she replied, 'The head of John the Baptist's grudge.' And she rushed back instantly to the king and requested, saying, 'I wish you to give me right now the head of John the Baptist on a platter.' And the king was deeply pained and grieved and exceedingly sorry, but because of his oaths and his guests, he did not want to slight her by breaking faith with her. And immediately the king sent off one of the soldiers of his bodyguard and gave him orders to bring John's head. He went and beheaded him in the prison, and brought his head on a platter and handed it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother." Now, there are different ways to look at the whole thing playing out here, but I'd like to zero in on something. I could really consider someone just dancing and then you offer the person half of your kingdom. But again, art is very convincing. It's persuasive. Let's look here at how powerful the senselessness of a vendetta is. It is foolish. How can Salome, and by the way, she's a teenager, okay? And she's requested, after performing such a wonderful dance, she's requested to ask for anything. And then she runs to her mother. Attachment issues here. Runs to her mother, and the mother says, "Do this one for me." And she misses the opportunity to do something big with herself. Okay, granted she's royalty. Yes, she has access to the throne, but she didn't have the access to that which the king was offering, a half of his kingdom. And there were people he was going to impress, and he was going to keep his word, but she wasted it. The mother, Herodias, blew this for her. Now, you would like to compare that with another royalty, another girl, teenager herself, who was asked just about the same thing. That was Esther. If you read Esther 6 and Esther 7, you'll see how Ahasuerus, her husband, asks her, what do you want? I'll give you half of my kingdom. She said, "Save my people." Notice the difference? But she says, save a whole race, save a whole culture, save a whole people. And another girl, how many years later, is asked, and she kills a prophet. One saves, one kills. And everything goes down to upbringing. Esther was well trained by Mordecai, and she knew exactly what was required of her. Herodias was a poor example of a mother training her daughter. No mother should do that to a child. And that silly vendetta, the grudge she held against John, was blinding. It was destroying her. So this is instructive in many ways. First thing, let our passion and desires not be so senseless. Let's not be so impassioned that we choose silly things over what great opportunities there are to do very, very big things for the children. We shouldn't kill. We should give life. We should make things better. And that was the opportunity that was at disposal to Salome. She would have done better. She should have done better, but she didn't. So again, I'd like to say vendetta is foolish on the one hand, but that training that is offered a child, that training that should be that communal understanding of what to do with an opportunity, that should be driven in. People are taking opportunities and then some people just lose it. Okay, what do you do with someone's head? Tell me. What do you do with it? It's senseless, but there it is. Lost opportunity over vendetta. So today, let's think about our choices, our actions, and the trainings that we're giving to the younger ones. It's so important that we don't miss it or don't miss out on opportunities with them. Do think about this today, please, and have a great day.